Tailgate Tales. I'm going to give you guys a full comprehensive review of the Panasonic GH5 after switching from Sony. Before that I had Canon, so I went Canon, Sony, and then Panasonic, and I found my perfect camera for me. First things first, this guy right here. The flip screen makes it great for filming low angles, high angles, and all different kinds of angles. And the touch screen makes me able to get through the menu so quickly. It's like crazy. It's like, how did I ever live with those stupid dials twirling around like the Sony has, and like some of the Canon cameras have that don't have a touch screen. So another cool thing, so on the autofocus, right now I'm on facial tracking, and you can kind of see how easy it is just by a touch to focus on the background, and then to touch it again, set it back to my face. I mean, it's that easy. So this footage right now that I'm showing you guys, this is with the image stabilization off. And now I'm going to show you with this on. Now I'll show you side by side. The GH5 has 20 megapixels, and it's a crop sensor, not as good as a full frame, but still gives me great quality photos. Whereas the Sony a7S II only had a 12 megapixel camera, which, if you're not aware, most of the new iPhones have that. Probably still better than the iPhones, but I would just say it's not as good and clean as I would like it to be for my photography. Another cool feature on the GH5, you get 2 SD card slots. So if you're super paranoid about SD cards crashing, or you've had one get screwed up in the past and you lost all your client's work, that's a huge deal. And so maybe you like to back up, and it's cool because there's a light showing you which card you're filming on. So if you're filming on one, you can exchange the other one and essentially film footage for hours on end. The battery life lasts so long, and I even the Panasonic battery lasts a little over 2 hours for a 2-hour shoot, and I'm using it constantly and I don't run out of any battery. And whereas the Sony a7S II, you know, a 2-hour shoot I go through 2 batteries and normally have to pull out a third, which is crazy. And another plus about the GH5 that I really liked is, so I bought the cheap batteries off Amazon, I'll put them in the description below, but they last just as long as the Panasonic battery, maybe a little less, but for, you know, 12 bucks for 2 batteries, I don't care. For vlogging, for traveling, the GH5 is awesome. It works well in weather, they say that on their website. It's splash proof, dust proof, freeze proof, so it works really well in most weather conditions. I've used it in the rain, didn't have any problems, didn't have any issues with the touch screen or anything, so it's been great that way. Sony doesn't really have any kind of guarantee or anything like that on their site. They say it's a well-built camera, and that's pretty much it. Let's be honest, the GH5 is one of the only cameras to shoot 60 frames per second at 4K, which is just cool. For editing purposes, it's awesome. It gives you so much room to move, to crop in, and to fix any mistakes you made. Also, you can shoot at 180 frames, you can shoot at 120, at 1080, and it's just awesome. I love this camera. Whereas the Sony just did what I needed to do, shot in 4K really good. It does 120 frames at 1080 as well. But the GH5, it just has those capabilities, plus all the other things I've mentioned before. So as you can see, my niece, we're gonna go right into the Panasonic app. It's gonna connect it. I've already connected my camera to the phone. It was pretty easy. And so here we are in the app. And what's cool about the app is, as you can see, you can tap to focus if you're in autofocus mode, which is really cool. So that way you can really have full control. You can press record, which you couldn't do in the Canon apps, which actually is pretty crazy. You could just photos. You probably can in newer ones. I only use the one with the 6D, so let me know if that's changed. You can change the ISO as you're filming. You can also change the depth of field if you want to. It's pretty cool here. You can see that. Just changing the aperture a bit. And then you have white balance, pretty much full capability in the app, and I think it is awesome. So now let's go check out the Sony app and see how it compares with the Panasonic. So we can record and stop. We can't change any of the displays, none of the settings really, except for this. So that's the Sony app. I would give this like 20 thumbs down if I had that many. The amount of work it took to get this sucker set up is not worth how crappy this app is. Lastly, the best thing about the GH5 is it's $600 cheaper than the A7S II and much cheaper than the comparable Canon, you know, the 5D. GH5 is the cheapest, and I think it's the best value for your money. This camera is my favorite camera I've ever owned. It's easy to travel with, it's easy to shoot vlogging with, it's easy to shoot professionally with, and I think I found my dream camera. This may be perfect for me, but you may like the Sony for your own preferences, or you may like the Canon for your own preferences. It's all about what you desire in a camera, and these are the reasons why I switched personally to the GH5. These are the reasons I like this camera, and I'm still experimenting with it. I've only had it for, I think, 3 months now, so I still have a lot to learn on it. But ultimately, the GH5 is the camera for me. So you guys go out, discover which camera is best for you, or take my word for it and get the GH5. If you're anything like me, you will love it and not regret it. And anyways, that's all I gotta say. I'm out. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. And peace.